big and quite extensive. Dr. Quinn served in the United States Army as a captain, first lieutenant in the United States National Guard. He received his education from Jackson State University, Belhaven College with a bachelor's degree in biology, Meharry Medical College with a doctor of medicine, and a resident doctor of family medicine, Martin Luther King Drew Medical Center, Los Angeles, California. His professional experience currently, he's the medical director of Quinn Family Care. He's the medical corresponding writer for the Clarion Ledger. He's the medical director of Quinn Healthcare. He's an adjunct professor at Belhaven College in biology. He's an adjunct professor at Jackson State University, Vilsaps College, Hines Community College, and the Meharry Medical School. His professional activities include, he's a resident member of the American Academy of Family Practice. He's a member of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity and the Mississippi State Medical Association. I introduce to you Dr. Timothy Quinn.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to give thanks to God for allowing me to come before you all today to address you all and hopefully give you some information that you can take with you and it'll better your life and the life of the ones that you love. I also want to thank the pastor for having me into his church home to address his congregation. And just to make a note that when I speak on behalf of the Christian community. My grandfather was a pastor for the Church of God in Christ. And he taught me that you cannot get into heaven based on words. You have to have it in your heart in order to seek the kingdom of heaven. But God does like it when his Christians are active and doing positive things for other people to demonstrate what God would have us to do. I once did a talk for a church earlier in my speaking career. I was parking my car and there was a gentleman in a uniform. And basically, I spoke with him for a while and he told me that he was a full-time police officer, but he volunteered on Sundays to guard the cars for all the people in the church. And, you know, later after the service, I met some guys that were coming to work with the yard. They had cut the yard the day before. And what I later learned was that these men, the guy that was watching the cars and the person that mowed the yard for the church, they didn't get paid to do it. But they did what they could do for the church based on the skills that they had. God blessed me with the skills to learn medicine. So what I want to do is bless God's people with knowledge based on the information that I give them. The gentlemen that were mowing the yard, they had equipment. They were able to bless the church with their talent, as well as the security guard who was a police officer with a gun. Everybody before me can do something. You can do something. If you're 4 years old, what can a 4-year-old do? Tell me. What's your name, little girl? Tamaya. Okay, I'm going to come to you. Tamaya, what can you do to help other Christians?
I play with my sister, Dewancy.
She can play with her sister, Dewancy. Okay? What can you do to help other Christians? She can be quiet so everybody can hear the speaker. That's everybody give them a hand. Okay, so everybody everybody knows that they need to be active and participating in helping the other Christians. Now, what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about health. Okay? And we're going to talk about the importance of maintaining your temple. Okay? Now, everybody has a body, an earthly body. And it's very important to take care of yourself. One thing that we have to do is make sure that we go and get a physical every year. Okay? Now, everybody before me is young, but everybody's got a mama and a grandmama and a granddaddy. And I'm going to tell a little adult story right quick. We're going to go back down to something easy. I had a lady to come to my office. And she was in a wheelchair. And I went into the room and I asked the lady, you know, hey, I'm Dr. Quinn, how you doing? And what brings you to see us today? And she told me that she had some really bad back pain. Okay? Now this particular woman told me that she had been suffering with this back pain for the past 7 years. Okay? And the pain was so excruciating that she could no longer walk. The woman was in a wheelchair. She had borrowed it from someone else. And I asked her, what did the last physician say when he looked at the back pain? I mean, did they do x-rays? Did they do an MRI? Did they come up with any kind of reason that you had the back pain? And the lady told me that she hadn't been to a doctor in over 10 years. Okay? Now, make a note that this lady's husband was a pastor. Okay? This was a Christian woman. And also make a note that the woman had Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance. Okay? Now, what does that mean, right? Basically, this woman had insurance where she could go to a doctor every year for absolutely free and get a physical exam. Okay? But she had not been to the doctor in 10 years. We'll call her Jane Doe. Okay? So I asked Miss Jane Doe, I said, Miss Jane Doe, I know your back is hurt, but we need to do a physical on you. We need to check your blood pressure and just make sure you're okay all over. She agreed to it, and I explained, you know, the insurance is expected of me as a family doctor to do it, and the insurance pays for it. It's free. So we checked her blood pressure, we checked her for diabetes, and everything was pretty good. Blood pressure was up a little bit, but not bad. Anyway, we got to the physical exam. And Miss Doe's breast, the left breast, was hard as a rock. Okay? I immediately asked her to put her clothing on and, you know, sent her over to St. Dominic's for an MRI. As I expected, entire vertebrae was covered with cancer. Now I'm going to tell you about another lady. Let's call her Sarah Jane. She came in for a physical. And when I walked into the room, she had no complaints. She said, Doc, I feel great. I just want to get my physical. It's that time of year. I do it every 12 months. I said, yes, ma'am, we'll do it. So we did the full exam, blood pressure, no diabetes, cholesterol. Everything was great. Okay, we did the physical. We did the breast exam. I didn't feel any masses, but I told her because of her age, she was 48 years old, I told her she needs to go get the mammogram. She agreed to get the mammogram. And a week later, I got the mammogram results back, and it showed what's called a microscopic calcification. That's cancer. It was cancer, okay? So we sent her to get a biopsy. They removed it with the good news from the pathological report that all the cancer had been removed in the procedure. And the surgeon said that she needs to just follow up in a year. Her life is saved. This woman is cured. They have got all the cancer out. Now, the second lady, if you'll know, was 48 years old. The first lady was 57. Now, cancer starts as one microscopic cell. Just like a little bitty kid. It starts out real little. And it grows and grows and grows and grows to the point where you can feel it. But when it first starts out, it's so small you can't even feel it. Okay? That's right, it's a little bitty thing.